Gotta get back to work. I spent most of the day out there working on stuff. I cleaned up the pickleball court area and basketball court area and painted the college 3 point lines and the free throw line for the 10-foot basketball hoop. Tested that, put on the light, the sensor light. I might have to get another one that is uh, stronger. And that one's only 500 lumens. I thought like 1,000 or 1,500 was too much, but it may not. I may get the one with the stronger lumens on it and replace it so it shines even brighter. But I don't know. I'll wait and see. I'm in no hurry. And sore, body sore, hair very sore. Um, uh, which I anticipated. I gotta adjust my diet this summer and cut down to very little any kind of processed sugars, just because of all the chemical poisoning and the re-agitation of the chemical poisoning is something I just got to work with because I'm dealing with extremists and you have to have discipline and you're like, fuck. And I understand, I'm relating to people that are being murdered by abuse and then, because they have no discipline, according to psychotics. Um, uh, yeah, when you engage in better discipline, people don't have to have as much quote unquote discipline as people that are abusive, people that consider themselves disciplinarians perceive. You got to understand you're dealing with psychotics, and psychotics always try to justify their um, selfishness and their abuse through their interaction. They don't look at the most obvious, like Boy LG said in his rap, the truth's in plain view, but they avoid it like cancer. Um, uh, Excessive compulsive and competitive people um, avoid any quote obvious solutions because it it doesn't give them the capacity to manipulate great at a radical capacity. So we're dealing with really sick people. Um, I'll get through the spring and summer. I'll get through it. I'm feeling crappy right now, but yeah, I'll go get my tooth did and settle in and get my chase lounge so I can get lots of sun tanning this year and do back and front and do more Tai Chi type yoga things. I don't really do Tai Chi or yoga. I do just, basically stretching and then balance kinetic resistance type exercises. I don't really do anything referred to as Tai Chi or yoga. I do certain things that are for stretching and certain things for balance and strength and bending and whatever. I do like doing weightlifting with just small amounts of resistance and stuff, and more then get up to more repetition. It's a very painful. Of course, you got a lot of chemical poisoning and abuse from the worst competitive perverts in the history of the world, and I was something I'm really sick of, but they show no propensity to self correct or stop. So I have to be the focal point of it, and I connect to people that are being abused that they think aren't good enough to be in their great competition, whatever and stuff is a. Um, I understand how things are going. I don't overthink things, and I don't try to overthink it or look into it or think about it. I just do what I do. I was out there while I was out there painting and cleaning up the pickleball basketball area. I had a lot of things about Lucifer and Adam and Vishnu and Krishna, or Shiva or whatever. I'm not particular. Sometimes there typically more names for the bad ones than there is for the good ones. The the Krishna Vishnu, the people that like to fancy themselves Hindus, that use oppressive mythology to he stepped out to mass murder people with irrational thought processes. Um, Judah Krishnamurti never said don't eat chickens or cows, or pigs, or he never said any of that kind of stuff. You just have to be very careful how you eat and what you eat and how you eat it, which is intelligent in how much you eat and how you eat it. And so it's very balance, harmony, and understanding. And that stuff gets taken and out of context to manipulate people, and usually to get them to agree to genocidal type fantasy and manipulations, and that's rampant in Hinduism, what they call Hindu religion. Hindu religion is a large genocidal, accepted, oppressive mythology, but so is what they call Christianity right now. So is what they call Islam, and it pretty much goes for just about every organized religion. I'm not gonna let anything disturb my namaste. It's like, oh, shut the fuck up. They take the words and they pollute the words in order to manipulate people with feelings of, like Judy Krishnamurti talked about, the guru with all these followers and shit. And when you use words properly and you understand the meaning of words properly, then you use words to help people better understand their existence and not turn it into irrational, magical thinking mythology. Right? And then those people said that Jesus is an advocate of Vishnu. Judah Krishnamurti never said anything like that. Basically, Jesus was getting up and trying to get people to be peaceful and not have views and delusions of authority and grandeur, and then was murdered, by the abusive people because they threatened if he continued his course of action, to kill all the women and children. So he sacrificed his life to save the people of Hebrew religion, women and children, so they wouldn't be murdered off the face of the planet. And that's what typically Vishnu, Shiva, or whoever the bad guy is, and bad girl, because and Satan and Lucifer, stuff do. They threatened to kill all his children, and that's the issue that Eve had with dealing with Lilith saying, just give in, so he won't kill your kids, because you won't murder his children, but he'll murder yours. And you'll try to take his children and teach them to be like you, and he'll kill your children if they're anything like you. It's like, yeah, I understand that. That's how Vishnu is. That's how, the bad guy is basically, I'll kill you and make another one just like you. Except I'll get that one to be like me and not like Jesus or Earl or Judah Krishnamurti or so forth. And so we've known this for a long time. Now, that's why most of the responsibility of hell is based on a man and not the woman. Okay. Because if a woman, it's harder. I got that today, I was cleaning that up. It's harder. Hell's harder on women than it is on men. My mom had to try to talk me out of not being the Messiah because she was afraid that Satan, Lucifer, and his women would try to kill me. Okay. You can't do that, or they'll murder you. All right. A woman, they'll just rape and Stockholm syndrome her into the group, which they do, and it's obvious. But a man, if you get up to do the right thing, they'll kill the children, and it'll be of heart disease, cancer, or different things. And but you can't let what the perverts will do deter you from getting up and doing that what is right. The reason why children die from heart disease and cancer is because of Lucifer and the devil and Satan, not because of the Lord. You forgive debt and trespass, love one, eternal, faithful peace. We're going to have lots less dearth effects and children dying from the excessive, compulsive, abusive, manipulative behaviors of the devil, Satan, Shiva, or, Vishnu, so forth. And so you got to understand that the reason these religions, unlike what the Zeitgeist movies talked about, they're not hyping each other. It's just truth is truth, lie is lie, good is good, bad is bad, and right is right, and wrong is wrong. And so the wrong person is always similar to the other wrong person across the world, and the same with the right person. Okay, so Krishna and Christ are a lot alike. Go figure. Okay. And so, and Krishna would not sit there, Judah Krishnamurti would not sit there and say, well, Jesus was an advocate of Vishnu because he died vertically. That's because the people like Vishnu murdered him for protecting the children from being mass murdered. A dog could explain that one. But a corporation, he's an advocate of Vishnu. Fuck you very much. Fuck you very much. Fuck you. Here's, do this with your namaste. All right? And that's where you get. And the people, I can't believe this man is the Messiah. What do you mean? Judah Krishnamurti himself, who was the one most like the Krishna and Siddhartha, never criticized the actual spirit and the nature of what were referred to as the teachings or the actions or the legends or the prophecy of Jesus Christ. He never criticized Jesus once. Never said Jesus was incorrect. He criticized many people that said they were religious and had them as their God or their Lord and did not do what Jesus commanded them to do, which was eternally right and perfect. Forgive debt and trespass, love one, eternal, faithful peace. Okay? And a lot of the one thing that happened with Krishnamurti was, and it's happened to him with rich people a lot. It happened with Selassie. It happened with Suzuki. It also happened with Sun Yat-sen, the coming in and the monologuing and we'll just kill all your kids. We'll just do all that. Okay. And Krishnamurti, they would say that to him too. You can sit there and say all this kind of stuff publicly and it'll never see the light of day. They'll just shut off the cameras. They'll just stop recording. They'll kill anybody who's doing the recording that tries to help you do it. You won't be able to, if you write it down in a book, you won't be able to get it published and or circulated. We will always be able to kill the poor, and you will always sit there and try to stop us, and you always do it in vain and look like this great, you're pathetic. That's what the rich people always told Krishnamurti. That's what they told Suzuki. That's what they told Selassie. And they'd tell the same thing to me. Okay, we could run you over in the parking lot of Best Buy if you don't exist. Okay. They're gross. They're disgusting, If I understand, okay, with women, but there's still self-responsibility with women. Once you realize beyond any reasonable doubt that you've been Stockholm Syndrome fucked into Lucifer's group, it's time to look at him and say, fuck you. I ain't selling your fucking food held hostage anymore. I'm not selling drugs to people. I'm not on your fucking entertainment shows. You're a fucking jerk. You're gross and you're disgusting. Look what you do to Earl's beautiful body for being eternally, in spirit, so much more beautiful than you narcissistic pig. Okay? And it says in all the books that the prettiest of all of them is Adam's brother Lucifer. Okay? He's more physically attractive. What Adam focused on was being a protector of the innocent children. He didn't focus on his vanity. He didn't put a lot of things in. You got to do this for your faith. You got to work out. You got to do your exercises every morning. You got to do your Pilates, hottie toddies, and Rudy toddies. He doesn't focus on that. If he has time to take care of himself, self-care, he does. But if he doesn't, and typically he doesn't, because Lucifer's always taking self-care while he's taking advantage of others. Okay, Lucifer and Adam are brothers, and Lucifer is a fucking jealous, envious, narcissistic, it's all about me fucking pig. And Adam is a beautiful, gorgeous person that when we love one another, have faith in God, forgive debt and trespass, love one another, eternal, faithful peace, to get back to the faith of Psalms and the wisdom of Proverbs, we'll all, like Joseph Smith discussed, have better celestial bodies through molecular transfiguratory states of being, not reincarnation, just but through continual, beautiful cleaning out the river. And when the water's healthier, the plants are healthier, and the people are healthier. Oh, shit. I am so tired of you Luciferians, And the whole thing that you guys did with what's that, R.K. Rollins, trying to make Rockefeller's line look like my line, And that's not true, okay? Yeah, my dad's attractive and a good jock, okay? And mom stepped out of the narcissistic, arrogant, pretentious side of her family and went with the good, the good old, they do, I'm writing this down in a trench bomb. You really believe that shit? And if you tell them that their hoodwinking is hoodwinking, they get mad at you. No, I'm an American. I'm an American and I'll die for my country. You'll die for a flagpole rag of a bunch of people that consider their wives and children property and will send their sons to kill other people's sons to maintain their ownership of property through money. You'll die for an asshole like that, but you won't stand up and live for a beautiful person like myself and Jesus. Seriously. Yeah, I said it. Myself and Jesus. Your Jesus isn't here. Your Jesus is a cartoon character in your head that's a fucking crazy little narcissistic pervert who sends everybody to hell in your head if they don't accept God as a pervert in your head that's not ready to stand up for the Lord's Prayer yet. It's not time yet. Bullshit. Okay? The time to stand up for the perfect commands of Jesus Christ is right now. Because you didn't do it yesterday, okay? I don't want to fucking hear your pathetic selfish excuses anymore, okay? And I'm sick of you fuckers in the military using my family to put in positions to try to keep you physically safe from the technology killing you because you're using the technology to offend on me. Okay? I tell people this over and over again. I can use technology to protect people from technology with technology, but I cannot use it to protect people from themselves. Okay? If your family says, well, I'm going to go to the bar, I don't give a fuck what you say, Earl. Okay? I'm going to drink out of lithium batteries, I don't care what you say, Earl. I'm going to eat pizza by the pound and eat licorice and have root beer floats for every meal, Earl. I don't care, Earl. I'll drink myself to death and pickle my liver if I want to, Earl. Fuck you. It's like, go ahead. It's hard. And it's been hard on me. I am a very responsible person and I have a good diet. And when they they fucked with me. The military's fucked with me economically and sociologically and intellectually my whole life. I always tried to get myself in better positions. I wanted to go to these little schools like Western New Mexico or Fort Lewis or Western State and other places where it was up off the grid in a healthy, positive iron environment, okay, which they always denied me. Then with the manipulation of my little sister and the economics and the abuse of my mom, when they can program people like they're programming a video game. Okay? And then they get, guys, I wanted to go play basketball where I wanted to go play basketball. And I wanted to be able to play at the high schools without being manipulated by a bunch of gossiping little fucking mean bitches. Okay? I never got the opportunity to be in places or stay in places where I could have very good effects on the coaches and have the coaches realize, God damn, I think this kid is more intelligent and more mature than I've ever been a day in my life. And he's only 15 or 16 years old. Okay. But instead I was in military control where the coaches were affected by the military surveillance, groups radically and saw me as a cocky, arrogant son of a bitch who thought he was better than everybody else. No, I just will not hurt people for money. I will not abuse people for money. But I will help you protect yourself from abusing other people for money. You can ask Manny Treviso, Jimmy Oliver, and Whitey Kaufman if most of them are still alive. I doubt if Kaufman and Oliver R. But it's wow. You know, people are insane and vicious, and they've been this way for thousands of years. And the little referee girl and things, you can never have a perfect game. Yeah, you can. You can have a perfect game in a lot of things. Yeah, you can bowl a perfect game. You can tons of games where you can have a quote unquote perfect game, and where they have referees to make sure that it all is going right or officials going all right. So you can't have quote perfect games, even in your guys' perception of perfection or not perfection. You can bowl a perfect game, and you can have people making sure that you don't cross the line and don't that you do have to do it right. So you can have officials, and people can officiate a perfect game, and the person can perform a perfect game. Okay, but that's not perfection. Okay, it's just a perception that human beings use a word they invented and use it wrong. The word perfection in religious context means mature. It doesn't mean quote unquote without flaw. Okay. Everything that we perceive living has what we perceive as a flaw in it, for existence and stuff, and it's not a flaw. It's just the way things go together to interact for life, so it's just, there's a lot of people in the world that think they understand what they're talking about, know what they're talking about, and they really don't. One of the guys that helped people understand that, I've been very critical of, and I should be, because, but then again, he was probably afraid, and if he did do things more intelligently, just like what happened with Albert Einstein, they probably would have threatened to kill him too. Yeah, okay, because he did see things very intently. Okay, I guess I could take it a little bit easier on Richard Feynman. I get what some of you guys are saying. Okay, you're the guy. Yeah, and I'm physically and mentally and emotionally in pain because of all the abuse from all the perverts around me that think they're going to win and that I have no discipline and I'm a pussy and all that. Survive, stop, eliminate, abuse, recover. Okay. You do not want to even consider physically continuing the abuse of me and having me die from murder, which is chemical poisoning and abuse. I'm not going to go, I'll get my tooth did, but that's it. I'm not going to go to a hospital. I'm not going to go to medical professionals for any kind of treatment at all. I'm going to do everything at home on my own to the best of my ability. I said it hundreds and thousands of times. Lord's Prayer, all or nothing at all. Okay. This is not a good time to play games with the dumbasses in Japan and the stupid asses in India and the dumbasses in China. Okay. That thought they had it all figured out and had their Krishna and their Christ person plugged into a computer so they could, they're stupid. Okay. And if you think you're going to be like those pathetic perverts and that whole one, nothing pisses me off more. You sacrifice all so we can be free. Sacrifice all so we can be free. Okay? We're not living the perfect commands of Jesus Christ, which is freedom from all human delusions of authority, grandeur, and I'm our hero, right? Stop pelling a bunch of fucking aggressive, psychotic assholes who are brain chemicals. You sacrifice all so we can be free. We're not free from your bullshit and your abuse. Okay, so the only reason you tell people that is because you're stupid as fuck, just like they are. Okay? I'm sore. My body hurts. My body hurts so much from chemical poisoning. I got a detox this summer. I can't even get a shot up from the college 3-point line. My body's too sore and too poisoned. Okay, and that really pisses me off. And yeah, I could have spent all December in the sun and focused on my resistance training and be feeling a lot better right now. But I spent the whole Christmas and January connecting in prayer to Amy's middle daughter, Emily, feeling her sadness, and other people that are being abused in her family, close proximity to, that are feeling stressed and stressed out and sad too. I chose to be sad with the women that abuse the hell out of me, that you used to abuse me, and their kids, as opposed to getting up and saying, fuck them, I'm going to get sexy and I'm going to have sex with a super hot person for the temples that Illuminati. Renounce all. Renounce all those material things you gain by exploiting and extorting other human beings. Can you hear me now? Okay. Step up. You don't have to prep up. You don't need your fucking drugs. You don't need electroshock therapy. But you do need to recognize the living Messiah now. This is something you can't wait for tomorrow. You're not Alcoa. We can't wait for... The only thing we can say about the future is it's going to be fantastic. That's bullshit. Okay? We do. You're a bunch of scientists manipulating and killing each other of money. That's not fantastic. Bombastic, dumbass-tastic. Shut the fuck up, okay? Stand up for Lord's Prayer. Have the faith of Psalms. Sustain it with the wisdom of Proverbs, or just shut the fuck up, because you can't be the solution to your own problems with your ego. I feel better now. So I'm going to finish watching I watched the game. I know how all the kids' games went today. But then I'm going to go soak, and then we'll kick your ass some more. All right, peace.